Hello, everybody. So I'm 2 minutes late. I apologize. Let me fix my webcam a little bit. I don't know. Is that kind of lopsided? I think it is. I was trying to do this simultaneously on YouTube also, and I don't know. I couldn't figure it out. I don't quite know yet how to do live video on YouTube. So sorry I'm late. Hey, Tanisha, good to see you here. So you got it figured out. That's good. As you guys come on, if you want to just maybe type in and let me know that you're here, let me know where you're tuning in from. So today's presentation is going to be about how you can compete against and win when you go up against some of the big name franchises. Somebody asked me this question last week. I was doing a presentation about setting your goals for 2018, and it was in the midst of that training that I was doing, and so I didn't really have time to address it. But the more I thought about it, I thought, this is a really good question, a really good topic, and so I wanted to address it. So here's what I'm going to do. I have 6 points that I'm going to cover with you today. I'm figuring it'll take me maybe 20 minutes or so. Hey, Lamar. Good to see you guys. This is fun. And for the first part of the presentation, I'm going to give you an example that is if you have a commercial cleaning business. However, it's very similar to how this would work if you have a residential cleaning business. And so if you'll just hang on, as soon as I finish with going through for the commercial, then I'm going to talk about how you would apply these same concepts if you do residential cleaning and you're coming up against and you want to successfully compete against the big name franchises. Okay, so I have basically kind of 6 points that I want to cover on what you want to be thinking about and looking at. Bear with me here. My probably need to get my prescription adjusted. Okay, so for commercial, and again, let me just say really quick, I'm going to do commercial first, and then I'm going to cover residential, but a lot of the points are very similar. So when you want to compete against a big name franchise, let's say Coverall, Jana King, I don't know, somebody like that, the first thing that you do, and I'm really talking now about you've already pre-screened them, you've already done your marketing, so we're not going to talk about that. I'm going to jump right into going to the appointment. So point number 1 is it is important for you to dress appropriately, particularly if you are going to a commercial prospect's office. Dress in a professional manner. For men, that means, like what do they call that? The Oxford shirt with a blazer, not necessarily a suit, no tie, but you definitely need a dress shirt and a blazer. For women, a dress or a skirt or a pantsuit. I would rather see you overdressed than be underdressed. It isn't really appropriate for you to show up, especially if you're wanting to compete against the corporate types. It isn't really appropriate for you to show up wearing your uniform, polo shirt, khaki slacks, that kind of thing. You want to really look like the consummate professional. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 is to make sure that you bring some marketing collateral with you that you can leave there with your prospect. And a lot of you that are already working with me know, you've seen me talk about bringing the gift bag. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details about that on today's presentation, but if you have been on my YouTube channel, I have a video about that. You know what I'm going to do, if you guys will hang on with me here quick for just a minute. I'm going to go to my YouTube channel and I'm going to paste the link here for you guys. Oh shoot, looks like I'm signed out accidentally. I'm going to try to post that link for you guys because I have several hundred people that are, oh shucks, I'm going to have to do this later, it looks like. I have several hundred people subscribed to my YouTube channel, but they're on the wrong channel. When I first started my coaching business, I got a YouTube channel and I didn't do the tags and I didn't do a bunch of stuff. So I recently switched to another channel. So if you guys want to get YouTube videos, go on YouTube. You'll see 2 channels there for Build My Cleaning Business. select the one and subscribe to the one that only has like 25 people on it, because that is actually the new channel. That is the correct channel. I'm going to be moving everybody over to that channel. But the reason that I mention that is because there's a video on there where I talk about what you should take with you, what you should have with you in the gift bag, particularly what kinds of marketing materials you should leave with a commercial prospect. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about that, but it is very important that you leave some marketing collateral, okay? Point number 3, now let's talk about the actual appointment. And sort of a subcategory of this topic, I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different things on item number 3. Item number 3 is the biggie, and this is the actual appointment. So when you go to the appointment to do the walkthrough, your number one job at that point is to build trust and build rapport. Establish yourself as the trusted expert as opposed to just another salesperson. That is absolutely critical. That is almost more important than all of the information about your company. Is if you can connect well with the person that's conducting the walkthrough, if you can get them to trust you, if you can build rapport with them, and most importantly, if you can get them to understand, to feel that you understand them, that is your number one job during the course of that walkthrough. People make buying decisions actually based on emotion. And so what the emotion is that people need to feel in order to feel comfortable buying from you is not that they need to understand you. They don't need to understand you. They need to feel that you understand them, that you understand their problem, that you understand the pain point that they are trying to get solved. That is the number one thing. If you don't remember anything else about today's presentation, as a matter of fact, I'm going to type in here pain. And I want to encourage you guys to type it in also, because I find that if you not just listen and watch, but if you participate in this training by writing things down or typing things in, it makes it more, it stays with you longer. So if you guys want to type in pain, and those of you that work with me, you know, you see me talking about this all the time. The way to close the sale is by focusing the solution that you offer on whatever the problem is that your prospect has. They don't really care all that much about, I mean, how long you've been in business or why you're in business. I mean, they care about those things, but only insofar as it solves their problem, that it addresses the pain that they have. Because let's face it, especially in the commercial arena, people don't really want to talk about janitorial services. It's not their favorite thing. It's not something that they're all excited about like we are because it's our business. For them, it's just something that has to be done, and it needs to be kind of out of sight, out of mind. So they're only willing to talk to people and think about it insofar as they have a problem, they're having some pain that they want some relief from that pain. So whether the pain is that the janitors don't show up regularly, that they're not paying attention to detail, that they're having communication issues, you know, whatever the repeat complaints, that's a big one. But whatever the pain is, your rapport building needs to be focused on what their pain is. So it's really important during the course of this walkthrough site visit that you build rapport, that you get them to trust you, and that you stay focused on their pain. So pain is kind of the number one thing. Remember I said I had, I'm sorry, I got to count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things under item 3 here. Okay, so that was item 3A, was focus on their pain. Item 3B is empathize with your prospect. So when they're saying, I hate when this happens, or I hate when that doesn't happen, it's important that you nod, you say, oh, I know, don't you hate that? I mean, really repeat what they've said to you. Let them know that you're hearing them and that you're getting what they're saying. It's also very helpful in terms of clarifying, making sure that you heard what they said, because miscommunication can happen when, you know, what left their mouth isn't necessarily the same thing that reached your ear. So it's very valuable to repeat what they're saying to you and make sure that you're getting 100% of what they're saying. So you can say, something like, so Mr. Prospect, let me repeat this back to you. Your primary concern at this point is blah, 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 whatever he just said. It's a matter of repeating it so that he feels understood. So that's 3B. 3C is get specifics. Have them show you, demonstrate to you the things that they are unhappy with. So generally, I will ask people open-ended questions like, what are you not getting that you wish you were getting? Or what are you currently getting that you don't like, that you wish you weren't getting? So get really specific about that. 3D, I'm getting myself a little confused here with my notes. Point D is agitate that pain a little bit. So whatever the thing is that they've told you their problem is, agitate it a little bit, poke that pain a little bit. And so the way that you do that, and you have to be careful, because let's say the person that you're talking to is the decision maker who hired the existing janitor. So if you go in there and you point out a lot of things that are wrong and why the janitor is doing a bad job, that may be received as a criticism of the person that selected that company. And if your prospect is that person, you don't want to offend them. So you tread a fine line in agitating their pain and agreeing with them that this is a terrible job, because you don't want to make them look or feel stupid for having hired that company. But you need to get clarity around the degree of cleanliness that they're looking for, and get clear on the kinds of things that are pet peeves for them, because that brings you to 3E, which is where you're able to demonstrate the unique solutions that you bring to this exercise. So remember I said they don't care about your pain. What I mean by that, they don't care about your company. What I mean is, if they say, one of the things that drives me crazy is, that I have to ask them for the same, I have to ask my current cleaners for the same thing 2 and 3 and 4 times over and over again, and it makes me crazy. So if you say to them something like, oh, the way that we prevent that from happening is, we have a communication log right here on site, or we have a to-do checklist that our janitor follows so that things aren't missed. And that same checklist is the one that the quality control inspector uses. And this is based on the scope of work, Mr. Prospect, that you and I agreed upon when we agreed to enter into this engagement. So that's why we don't have those sorts of problems. You're giving details about how your business is set up and how you approach quality control, but they are only interested in that insofar as it solves their pain. So don't get too carried away with giving details about how you approach doing things unless it addresses their pain. Okay, so during the course of the walkthrough, you want to be demonstrating the unique solutions that your company brings to bear on the problems that they are sharing with you. Okay, so F is, now this is a big one, guys. This is huge. If you don't, okay, I said already if you don't get anything else, but this is the number 2 thing, the number 1 thing that you should get. This is a writer-downer, guys. When you are competing against a big name franchise, here's what you want to say to your prospect, whether it's residential or commercial. What you say to them is, Mr. or Mrs. Prospect, if you pay me $100 to clean your house or $1,500 to clean your office, all of that money that you pay my company is being used to service your facility, to give you outstanding service. When you pay $100 to Molly Maid, some of that money is going to the corporate headquarters. So all of that money that you're paying isn't really being plowed back into getting you the service that you paid for. It's going to national ads on TV. It's going to the corporate headquarters. It's going to, franchise and licensing fees. It's going to things that don't directly benefit you. Tanisha, I know that you're on this Facebook, and I know that this is a strategy that you use. So Tanisha successfully, she's been working with me for a couple of years. She successfully took away an account from, I don't remember who it was, if it was Coverall or Jana King or one of them, and she charged the client more money than the franchisee that they had been working with. And she said to them, you know, you're paying, and it was a big piece of business. Excuse me. My throat's a little bit dry. I should have brought my water. It's something like, you know, $9,000 or $10,000 a month that they're paying her to clean this facility. What she said to them was, you know, you're paying $10,000 a month now to get your facility cleaned, but $1,000 or $2,000 of that is going to, you know, the franchisor, the licensing agreement, national advertising on TV, other things that are not directly benefiting, you know, things that are not being applied to the actual cleaning of your facility. So if you paid that $10,000 to my company, I'm going to spend all of that money hiring janitors, training janitors, having quality control inspectors, etc. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to have to take a drink of water. I'm embarrassed for you guys to see my big gulp container. This actually is water in here. I'm not drinking soda, but I just got to take a drink. Hang on. Okay, sorry. My throat was kind of dry. So that is a huge selling point, okay, that money that they pay to you goes directly into servicing their account. And so that was, okay, F. I got 2 more to go to on number 3, and then we'll move on to number 4. And then we only have 6. So, and the next ones are fast, I promise. Letter G is, and this is especially true for a commercial walkthrough. Get a commitment from them to communicate with you once they make a decision. What I don't want to see you guys doing is submitting proposals that go into a black hole, and then you can't get the prospect to return your call or answer your emails or, you know, respond to you, and you don't know what's going on. So remember I said in the beginning that you're establishing yourself as a trusted advisor and as a professional. So you're going to ask them, you know, one professional to another, to please give you the commitment that once you submit your proposal, they will keep you apprised of where they are in the decision-making process. It's just kind of a common courtesy, but, you know, if you're submitting these large proposals, they're custom, you don't want to waste your time submitting proposals to people who aren't really interested in and who aren't going to engage with you in a back and forth about what they're looking for. And then this final point, I waited to the last part of 3 to bring it up, is price. Yes, price is important. Price is important when you're competing with a big name franchise or when you're not competing with a big name franchise. But when you're competing with a big name franchise, you need to be in the ballpark. You can't be totally, you know, like twice as much as the other people. So all of these things that I'm going to teach you today, 1 through 3, 4, 5, 6, those are only effective if your price is somewhere in the range. If it's the lowest price, that's great. It doesn't have to be the lowest price, but you need to be in the ballpark. That is an important consideration when you're going up against big name franchises, okay? So that completes number 3. Now I'm going to quickly go through 4, 5, and 6, and then I'm going to tweak this a little bit for those of you who do residential cleaning only. But almost all of these points that I'm covering for commercial also apply for residential walkthroughs or phone quotes, okay? So point number 4 is the execution of the delivery of your proposal. So it is important that you create a needs-based proposal, not a proposal that goes on and on about all of these details about your company that don't apply to your prospect. Your proposal needs to be focused on the needs and the pain that they shared with you. That is super critical. Point number 5 is you should deliver your proposal quickly. Somehow people equate a fast delivery of the proposal with fast delivery of service. So that will set you aside or apart from other people. If it takes you a week or 2 to get a proposal ready for them, that is a sort of a black mark against you. And if you say that you're going to get the proposal to them, let's say today is Wednesday, and you say, I'm going to have it to you before the close of business on Friday, you need to have it to them Friday morning. This is an opportunity for you to underpromise and overdeliver. And the delivery that you show in your proposal, in getting your proposal to them, will be, they will assume that that's the way you do everything. So this is an opportunity for you to demonstrate your professionalism. Okay, and then the final point that I have is follow-up. Follow up fast and frequently. Do it soon, do it often, do it in a variety of different ways. So again, those of you that work with me, you know I have a little thing where I talk to you about sending the handwritten thank you note. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on that on this presentation because it's on my YouTube channel, so you can watch it there. But it's really, really important. I talked to a gal a week or so ago. I felt really bad for her. She was saying, you know, I'm submitting these proposals and then I don't hear back from the people. And I said to her, well, did you follow up with them? And she said, well, no. Guys, we cannot be shy, okay? If you are in business, you are in sales. So you need to be willing and able to follow up, call them, email them, send them the thank you note. I don't necessarily recommend dropping by, but do all of those things and then do it all again, okay? Keep following up until they tell you to stop. Because a lot of times, especially when you're dealing with businesses and corporate entities, there's all sorts of delays. You know, the office manager is out on vacation, and then the president is out on maternity leave, and then, oh, we have to submit it to the board of directors, you know, and blah, blah, blah. So if you don't hear from them or they keep putting you off and they're not, you know, that's why I said to you, remember I said, get them to give you a commitment to stay in communication with you. So that way you don't have to wonder, did they make a decision and they just haven't told me? So once you have that assurance, you can continue to follow up and follow up and follow up until they say, you know, don't call anymore. You know, we made a decision and it's not you. But what I found in my 25 years, this year I'm going on 25 years with my cleaning business, is that sometimes you have to touch a prospect 15 times before they can get an answer to you. It's crazy, I know, but follow up, and follow up, okay? Now, I have one more thing I want to say about pricing. I'm going to give you two conflicting opinions. I'm going to give you my opinion, and I'm going to give you the opinion of somebody else whose judgment I respect. His opinion is different from mine, but I'll share it with you. And then we can have Q&A, okay? So with regard to residential, everything that I said about competing for commercial business up against the big name franchises, all of that applies just as well with residential. The only difference is I do not do, and I don't recommend that you do in-person walkthroughs for residential quotes. It's way too time consuming, and it's really not necessary. I have taught many people how to do phone quotes, how to close phone quotes all day long with residential. So it is a big time waster if you as the owner are doing it, and if you are sending somebody out and you're having to pay them, it's very expensive and you don't close all the deals. So if you do work with me, or if you're thinking about working with me, I'll teach you how to do residential phone quotes and close them all day long. It's very easy to do, but you're spending a lot of time going out to see people, and that's keeping you from spending that time on things that are more important in your business, like, you know, strategic planning and hiring and networking and marketing. So I'd like to encourage you to get away, and maybe I'll do another thing about, you know, why you shouldn't do in-person residential quotes and how to wean yourself away from that. When I first started back doing residential about 2 years ago, I was not comfortable doing quotes over the phone, but, you know, I just forced myself. You get better and better the more you do it. You have a little spreadsheet and a checklist. You can create your own estimator or calculator. It's super easy to do, saves you a ton of time and money. So what I was going to say is when you're doing residential, obviously you're not going to have the gift bag or marketing collateral because you aren't going there. But if you want to, if you're not able to close the deal on the phone, ask them, make sure that you get their email address and ask them if you can have permission to add them to your mailing list, because every 3 or 4 times a year you send out some discount coupons and you want to make sure that they get in on that. So that's how you can get them to agree to give you your email address. Because what you want to do over time is you want to begin to automate your follow-up marketing, and keep in mind that everybody that you do a proposal with isn't going to hire you, and that's fine, especially on the residential side. But you want to have a way to be able to continue to market to them so that you can close them in a month or 6 months or whenever. So it's important to get their email. Let me just think about the other things that I said here. Yeah, all of these other things that I said about the commercial, those all apply to residential. Now, let's talk a little bit about pricing. So I talked to a guy, he emailed me actually just this morning. We were talking on this topic, and he said, he does several $1 million worth of commercial business a year. This is what he said. He said, if a mom and pop organization really wants to get the business, he encourages people, and what he does is he offers to do a month, the first month or the first 2 months for free, because that is just such a closer for people, that people love that. I disagree with that. I don't believe in discounting service. What he said, and I think he has some validity there, is, you just consider that a part of your cost of doing business. Consider it a cost of your marketing. Because here's the fact of the matter, is that in order to get prospects to contact you, you are going to have to do some marketing, okay? And marketing is going to cost you either time or money. It just is. There is no way to grow your business without investing some time or some money in marketing. So he says that, let's say it's $1,000 a month account. Honestly, the $1,000 that you're charging them, your labor is really maybe only 55% of that. So when you give them a free month, you're really not giving them $1,000, you're giving them $550. And if you consider the fact that it costs you $550 to get that customer, but they're paying you $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year, and you keep that account for 2 or 3 or 4 years, that's $6,000. So if you had to pay $550 to make $6,000, that's okay. That's not a bad trade-off. And quite frankly, I pay a lot for referrals for my residential clients. I give the person that refers me $50, and I give the person that is the referee I give each of them $25. So a new customer costs me $50, a new residential customer that was a referral, but I'll pay $50 all day long to get a residential client. I mean, so the thing that I think you have to take into account is that there is a cost to marketing. And if that's going to push them over the edge, maybe I would say, okay. So in general, the thing that I don't like about offering a month or 2 months of free service is that I am anti-discount. I don't believe in discounting. I don't discount my services. I don't discount my cleaning service. I don't discount my coat. I just don't. I feel like it attracts people to devalue what you're doing, that you're, I don't feel like I want to compete based on price because it's a race to the bottom. But, that's just me. And I gave you guys the example earlier of Tanisha, and I think she put a comment in here where she charged her customer, I don't remember what it was. It was, I don't know, maybe an extra $1,000 a month or $500 a month. So let's go back to what I said before, which was people buy based on emotion. And then they justify that emotional decision with logic. So you remember the very first thing I started with was how important it is that you get them to trust you, that you build rapport with them, and that they feel understood. because as long as they feel that you understand them and that you have these unique solutions that will solve their problems, they're going to make a sort of a gut reaction, as long as your price is generally in the ballpark. Okay, so Tanisha typed again. Thanks, Tanisha, for giving me that. So on a $10,000 a month account, she was $1,500 more a month than the people that they were leaving, and it was a big franchise. So I guess if I don't get anything else across to you guys, here's what I see happening a lot. People come to me all the time and they say, "Oh, I got an opportunity to do this bid. How much should I charge?" They are so focused on, they're like they've got blinders on about price. Price is not everything, guys. You are selling yourselves short when you over focus on price. Price is important, but price is not everything. You could have the best price in the world, but if they don't feel like you understand what they really want, if they don't feel competent that you know what you're doing, you're not going to get the account. It's no matter how cheap your product is, your service is. Okay, so Isha, I hope I'm saying your name right, Esha, maybe Williams, emotional marketing. That's actually a subject for a whole nother day. But basically, when I teach people about marketing, what I say is that there are two critical things that will tap into people's emotions. One is that you are clear about what your unique selling proposition is that you take into the marketplace. And two, that you are really clearly identifying who your ideal client is. I work with a coach, actually for my coaching business. She coaches coaches, and she has a thing that she calls PPP. I'm going to put that in here for you guys because it's super important. She always tells us that you need to have 3 Ps when you're thinking about your marketing. You need to talk about the person, the pain, and the pleasure. So your marketing needs to address the particular person that you are speaking to, that you want to use your services, because your services are not for everybody. In my janitorial service, I don't do doctors, dentists, retail, gaming. I'm in Las Vegas and I don't work with casinos. I don't do retail. I got a whole laundry. So I'm very specific in my marketing that I'm talking to office managers and facility managers. So the person that you're talking to, what the pain is that they have that you are solving, and the pleasure that they're going to get from working with you. What is the benefit that your customers get because they're working with you? So that is it. I went a little over time. I said I was going to talk for about 20 or 30 minutes. It's 34 minutes, so I apologize for that. Who has questions? You know what? If you guys will hang with me for just a minute, I want to, I don't know, maybe it doesn't matter. I was going to grab my YouTube link and make sure that you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel because I'm going to start doing a lot more stuff on YouTube. Let me also give you my website, buildmycleaningbusiness.com. Uh-oh. Misspelled it. BUSINESS.com. See if that's right. Yeah. And for a lot of people on this call, if somebody was asking how they can work with me. So if you go to that website in particular, and I don't know the size of your business, if you're doing less than $10,000 a month in revenue, I would recommend for you the Success Academy. My Success Academy is perfect for people who are doing $10,000 a month or less because of the kinds of stuff that I teach you and the kinds of problems that you're facing. ACADEMY. We are introducing a brand new upgraded version of the Success Academy this Friday. It's called the Success Academy 2.0. I'm super excited about it. But in the Success Academy, I do both. So I'll teach you about how to build your residential cleaning business and your commercial cleaning business. If you just only do commercial, I have something called Commercial Cleaning Sales Pro. It's in the midst of a big revamp, so I'm kind of not talking to people about that a whole lot right now. Although it is much more expensive than the Success Academy. The Success Academy is really affordable, guys. Excuse me here, I'm just adjusting my chair. So Chloe's asking if I like restaurants. I do not like restaurants. And, this is just me. I have a thing about grease. I don't know what that is. It just gives me the heebie-jeebies. But more importantly, here are some of the issues that I've had with restaurants. Restaurants are open at night. And so it means that your people, your cleaners have to go in later, because the restaurant doesn't close until 10 or 11 or whatever time they close. With office buildings, they close at 5 or 6. And so you can get started. Your cleaners can get in and get out. Everybody's home by midnight. I like that. With restaurants, you're there later. Restaurants have more things that are attractive for people to take, to steal, or for your customer to accuse your people of stealing. So because of that, the restaurant owner may want to have some input about what time you come. They want you to come right as they're closing, or right before they close, or right after they close. And I don't prefer what I call timed accounts. I like an account where I got a key, I can go in anytime. They close at 6 o'clock at night, and as long as we have it cleaned before 6 o'clock in the morning, we've got that whole window to get it done. When you have a restaurant or a retail operation, a lot of times they want you to come in at a certain time, and they want you to be finished at a certain time. And I feel like that impacts my ability to, if something comes up, my regular janitor that I assign to that building, he's in a car accident, his child is having a piano recital, he wanted to come in late tonight, for whatever reason, I don't want to be locked into a particular time. As long as I get it done, that should be all they care about. The other thing that I don't like about restaurants is restaurants are one of the few businesses that have workers that are paid even less than janitors. They usually have dishwashers that are right around minimum wage. They're maybe 120% of minimum wage. They're very low paid workers. And so what tends to happen is that the restaurant owner has been trying to make the dishwasher do the cleaning. The dishwasher doesn't want to do that because he or she doesn't consider themselves to be in the cleaning business. They're interested in being in the restaurant business. They're interested in being in the food business, and they want to move up from being the dishwasher to being the sous chef to, chopping, whatever. So they're mad that they have to do the cleaning, that they have to mop the floor and clean out the restrooms and whatever. So they're doing a bad job, and that's why the restaurant owner wants to hire a professional cleaning company. I get that. The problem is that he's likely paying that dishwasher $9 an hour or $10 an hour. And if you start your janitors at $11 an hour, then it's going to be very difficult for you to offer, your staff at a rate that is attractive to him, because he has somebody that is lower paid than your guy. And, for the employee that he has, which is $9 or $10, that's his whole thing. I mean, he pays that plus whatever the payroll costs are. But, we're not charging people just what we pay the janitor. We're interested in making a profit on what we pay the janitor. And so what I found is that generally my prices have to be so high for restaurants that they don't want to pay those rates. When I go in and I say to them, I'm going to charge you, $3,500 a month to come in and clean your restaurant 5 nights a week, they say to themselves, well, hell, I can make the dishwasher do it for $2,000. Why would I do that? So that is why. And then also, like I said, I just have a thing. I don't know, because we used to do some daycare centers, and at daycare centers, they have like a kitchen there where they prepare food, lunch for the kids. And I was really clear that, in the kitchen, we're going to wash out the floor drain, and that is it. We're not scrubbing down those griddle things. We're not cleaning the hoods. I don't know. I feel like that is a very specialty kind of a service. So I have never liked restaurants. I have never done a lot of restaurants. Interestingly enough, before I opened my janitorial service, I had a catering business. So, I love cooking. I love food. But I don't know. I don't want, it's something that I hate. I don't want to train my people to do it. I don't want to talk to them about doing. I don't know. I just got a thing, and that's the beauty of being self-employed, is that you can pick the kind of businesses that you want to work with. Like I just said, I don't want to work with doctors and dentists. They make me crazy. They're kind of jerks and they're cheap. I mean, that's just me. But, you know, I know people who are doing a ton of business with medical offices and they love it. So, you know, more power to them. I don't really like daycares anymore. I had for a while, I had one account where we had like 13 centers all across Las Vegas. It was horrible. It was a nightmare. You got 1,000 different bosses. The kids make way bigger mess than adults do, you know, so 20,000 square feet of office is a short period of time. That same 20,000 square feet of daycare, oh my God, it takes you, you know, because little kids, they drop stuff on the floor and then they walk across it and then they know, and they go to the bathroom, they miss the toilet. I mean, it just, and daycares tend to have a lot of budget restraints. So for me, I don't really prefer daycares anymore, or schools. We've done some private schools. It was a high school. It was actually like, I think it was K through 12. But, you know, when kids start, you know, when they're like, I don't know, adolescents, you know, they like to do all kind of crazy things like wad up those balls and throw them up on the ceiling, you know, because they're kids, you know, and it was just crazy to me. So I really prefer, for me, and I have another thing, if you guys will go to my website, you'll see I have an article there, or a couple of articles where I said, this is a list of my top, you know, 5 commercial types of accounts. And these are the 6 that you should avoid like the plague. So if you guys go to my website, you can see that post on there. And I don't remember, I think I gave like a little, you know, spiel about why I thought they were bad, you know, why I didn't use them. So hang on, somebody's asking me about the Success Academy. So let me get I'm going to get a link here for you guys. And actually, I think there's a couple of people on this call or on this live who have gone through the Success Academy. So I don't know if they want to maybe, you know, say anything about their experience, or they have access to the Success Academy. It's been open a couple of years, so I've had a lot of time to kind of perfect it and, you know, work on it and make it really good. Of course, I'm biased, but yeah, I think it's a really good program. Let's see. Okay, here it is here. Okay, and so also, guys, if you're going to go to my website and look at stuff or look for stuff, there's a little pop-up thing that says, what is your #1 challenge right now? Do you need more customers? Do you need help getting workers? Or do you need help with systems? So if you select whichever one of those things you need, then it'll start to send you some articles on that particular thing, which I think is really handy. So hope you guys like that. And I think if there's no more questions, then I think I'm going to close up shop for today. I'm going to be doing a webinar next Wednesday. So here's kind of my schedule. Lately I've been doing, I haven't done a webinar in forever, but I'm going to start doing webinars probably once a month. I usually do a Facebook challenge once a month, and then I do like a Facebook Live like this once or twice a month. And then, of course, you know, I post pretty much every day or every other day. So I know this is a page, and it's a little bit difficult to have a lot of engagement on a page. You guys can actually type in questions for me, but I'm thinking that I'm going to probably start a Facebook group, because a group is like more interactive, you know, and then you can ask more questions and that kind of thing. So, but I appreciate you guys being here, and it is super fun. I love teaching and sharing and coaching. I just really do. So thanks, guys, for being here. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to just really quick, I'm going to type in those 6 things again, okay? So the first one was dress appropriately. For the appointment. Okay, number 2 was bring marketing materials. IALS, gift bag. Okay, item number 3 was all the stuff about the appointment. 8 tips about the site visit. And I'll probably leave this up for a couple of days if you guys, if you came late and you need to review it. Okay, item number 4 was make sure that you present a needs-based proposal, not a bunch of fluff about your company that nobody cares about. Sorry to say, but they don't. 5 is fast delivery, DELIVERY. And number 6 was follow-up. These are the things that will enable you to successfully compete and win against the big name franchises. I did cover pricing in there, but the main thing, guys, is you guys are overly focused on price. Price is important, but it is not everything. Establish yourself as an expert, build trust, establish rapport, make sure that they feel understood, and you've got the business. So that's it for now. I will see you guys in a couple days. Come back here frequently and see what I've got going on, because I'll probably do something over the weekend or toward the end of the week, and then I'm going to do webinar on Wednesday. Okay, bye for now.